Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of The Witness. Today, we're going to be taking a tour through the monastery and seeing what's going on with that. So, before we actually head over there, there is one other thing I want to show really quickly, and it's a place we haven't gone to yet. It's this place right here, the village. So, we did talk about this a little bit. We showed a little bit of the guy that was over here and everything else, but we didn't really talk all too much about the puzzles here. And there is a reason for that, because what happens is that this village is very much kind of your hub area of it. You have to incorporate all of these different types of puzzles to be able to solve this one. So this is an area that, at least for me, what I like doing was kind of coming here sporadically and just seeing what I was able to find out. So you'll see we do have a panel that's exactly the same as the one that we saw beforehand. And just like before, we can use our perception skills to be able to find out how to draw it. So nice and easy, nothing too crazy, but if you hadn't really seen the symmetry puzzles beforehand, this would probably look a lot crazier. Notice that it does turn green as well, just like what we had before. It goes up, and it gets us to a puzzle that we really have no idea how to deal with at this point, so we're going to just skip that for now. But just wanted to show you something nice and cool in that area. Now let's go to our main event of the day. We call it the Monastery. So, pretty cool building. You can see it looks pretty old. It's made of stone for almost everything on it. Definitely looks like it's got beaten down over the years, which is always interesting. Got this little kind of Zen garden behind us right here. Got some, what looks to be, I believe they're metal doors. Got this area all right here, and this is our beam for it. You can see if you look closely inside, it does have a picture of a tree. Shockingly enough, there's a picture. There's a tree that's literally exploding from the monastery. We'll get into that pretty soon, but first I just want to unlock this door nice and quick. And you can see that you can get through both ways then. Nothing too fancy, but let's continue on. Let's get into the monastery itself and see what we're going to be dealing with. So, we got some pretty crazy hard puzzles to start off with. And you can see it opens up one of the doors. We use the other one. It opens up that second door for us. And now we can get inside the building proper. So you can see there's clearly a tree that was growing from it. It looks like the monastery was built around this tree. And it looks like that tree is just continuing to grow and actually breaking down the building as it's doing it. Get some puzzle panels over here that aren't lit. And our first real thing is this right here. And so you can see it has 2 dots. So we can solve that puzzle, which is pretty nice. And it actually does affect this monastery itself. It lowers those, I believe they're blast doors. I'm not 100% certain, but to me they feel like blast doors. And it opens up the ones on the side. So it's basically whatever side you have left open is the side that stays open. You can see, because of your perception on it, you can actually change that. So we can start closing those down. And we're going to open up this side, because this is the side that's going to get us to the puzzles in this area. This is actually one of the smallest areas in the whole game, actually. That's a pretty cool one, so we'll take it as it goes. So you can see we have these wooden carvings. Those look like they were built before these blast doors. So one thing we'll see this more and more as we go on through the game, but it does look like there is different time periods of when stuff was built, and it seems like things were added on to older buildings. And definitely that sense of time seems like it's going to be playing a role in the puzzles and how they're affected as well. So we've got these nice little wooden things, and you can see it kind of looks like a line from here, and it does actually line up perfectly well with this lit panel. Maybe. If I can get it. There we go. So these ones are nice and simple. Literally just solve it through the panel. It turns this nice shade of red. And nothing too crazy over here. Yay. This one, got it right here. And we can go through it. If memory serves me right on this, you have to do it a specific way. I've never got exactly why you have to go down. It looks like because the tree was broken, at one point that you would have to go this way. But it opens up your third gate, and you can see that this one is completely blocked off, so we can't really get anything. We can just get up to here. Not really anything all too fancy. So let's go outside and see if we can solve this thing. You can see it does still have its full line. And so using that knowledge, we can just trace our line. Oh, maybe we can. There we go. We can trace our line from memory of what it looks like, because we know how it works. And life is pretty good, so that opens up this door so we can get into our little Zen garden over here. Still can't get out of it yet. But it also activates a panel right here. So we're going to activate all the panels, and then we're just going to go over some cool stuff in this area. Definitely a lot of hidden things, you could say, in this. So these ones, you're starting to use the tree as your perception for these puzzles now. And you can see that in this one, it's just the leaves that are blocking it off, so we can get a nice shape. Still that red color. It looks like red is our color of the day. This one, you see, you get psyched out a little bit. You think you're using the actual branches, but it actually doesn't do anything for you. Or sorry, the leaves. You actually have to use the branches to be able to get this puzzle solved. There we go. Perfect. Get our last two right over here. So this one, again, something a little bit different. So each one of these puzzles is using just a little bit different version of perception, which is kind of cool. 2 2 1 1 2 1 1 2. Oh boy. Clearly, I am gonna use my memory skills really well today, so let's see if we can do this. 2 2 1 1 2 1 2 this way? Yeah, there we go. Perfect. And last but not least is this one. Now this puzzle completely ruined me. So you can see, starts off here, you get about half of the puzzle done, but there's a missing side to it. There's something that's not connecting. So I was trying to like figure out like, oh, maybe it connects with this one, maybe you have to go through it, and then it attaches somehow, maybe there's like a different thing, and I was looking all around and all around and all around and just could not for the life of me solve this puzzle. And then like probably, I swear, it must have been at least 30 minutes of looking and trying everything. I looked down, and you can see this really interesting looking branch. And you can also see that if you go this way, it looks like this branch is cut right at the top here. This one right here. So if you use that logic, you can actually just go down. So it goes down 2 and then down and down and down. So you can actually make it right from there. Let's see if I can remember it. 2 2 1 1 1 2 1 1 1 1. There we go. And that is the whole monastery. It's like I said, it's a really small section. Clearly just here to show you perception, really. You're really using only perception on it. The nice thing about this is that you're actually starting to use not only just the environment, the natural stuff, but you are actually using stuff that is man-made, so these trees that are man-made here. We'll watch the little laser beam go up and up. And then we'll start taking a quick tour at what this actually is all about, because interesting to have such a big area that really only takes, what, we're at 10 minutes now, so it literally only probably took us about 5 minutes to beat that whole thing. Minus that one puzzle that took me 30 minutes, but oh well. But you can see we get another laser. It's doing its thing. It's about to go to the sky. Life is good in the world. Happiness all abound. And it shoots a laser. Cool thing is, you can see the difference. That one only stays blue. This one does turn a nice shade of, I believe that's red. I'm not the best with color, so forgive me on it, but I believe that's turning a nice shade of kind of reddish color. And that's Monastery. So let's take a look at some of the cool stuff. So first thing I want to show, well, we already kind of showed it, is that this tree is kind of exploding right from the monastery. It's growing right out of it. And it's interesting that the pictures that are on here kind of represent that same thing. So you can see it starts off just this nice little tree with one little symbol inside. Next panel, that tree's getting a lot larger. So the leaves are going like crazy on it, it's exploding. And the next one, you can see that it's getting even bigger. So it seems like they're actually representing that this tree was exploding from the monastery. So it seems like that actually happened during the time that this monastery was built. Also looks like they are kind of worshipping this tree. Trees in this game play a big role. Almost every major area has at least one gargantuan tree, or had one at one point in time. But while we're here, let's take a look at one other thing that's pretty cool. Actually, you know what? Let's listen to an audio log and then we will do it. I think that will make life a little bit more fun. So you can see, start opening it up. Interesting thing to note, we're not going to talk about it today, but one blast panel door does open up an incredible amount slower than the rest of them. Interesting to know. Maybe there's a reason for it. Hint, there is a reason for it, but we'll get to it in a bit. Not today. And let's listen to our only audio log in this place.
There is nothing in existence but veils hung down. Acts of perception attach themselves only to veils, which leave traces in the owner of the eye that perceives them. Bin Arabi 1231.
So, short and sweet, but I think it gives us a really good idea that, yeah, perception is important in this puzzle. So you can see right here, we got a person, looks like they're kneeling, but grabbing for something. Get this one looks entirely broken, so I can't tell exactly what it is, but you can see, like, this looks like it's a ledge or maybe a bridge. It's tough to say exactly what it is, but they're reaching for something. At the end of the day, it gets you this holy grail type looking thing. And again, it has that kind of exploding power to it, like stuff is going around it. Interestingly enough, that looks almost identical to the way the tree was exploding as well. So got some cool stuff there. But now that we know that perception's the name of the game, and I was starting to look a little bit closer into, oh, okay, well, what else can happen? We get stuff like this. I don't know if you can see it, but oops, maybe if I get a little bit better. There we go. So we get this person that's shaped right inside of here, just from the blast doors. But that's not all, because using that same picture, with a little bit different blast door, you can see it's starting to turn into a harpy. It's got those harpy claws. We already saw a harpy in Symmetry Island, so that's interesting. And then last but not least, on this last thing of perception, you can see that we get this harpy still, but now it actually has wings, so it is growing. A cool thing of noting about that is that if you actually open this one up, after 5,000 years, we'll look at it outside because I can show you something else in the meantime. So we get this reflection coming from the sun. Looks interesting this way, but if you look at it in the reflection, it does look like a man reaching up to the skies, reaching up to the heavens, perhaps. But the cool thing is all of these symbols in this area have been these kind of cross or plus signs with the squares inside of it. There is a reason for that. Again, we're not going to go through everything. I don't want to spoil everything in the game yet as we're going through it. But it's interesting to know that You hear a sound the whole time in this monastery. We'll go really quick back to it and I'll show you the other thing. So you can hear this humming. And there's no sound in this game that doesn't come from somewhere. Every single thing that you see in this game, including the buildings themselves, so the buildings are made from architects, so everything that you see here could be built in real life. The sound, though, everything that has sound comes from an area in the environment, but we can't see anywhere where the sound would be coming from. I'm gonna leave you with that. But if you have played through the whole game, you might know what's causing that sound. Well, we'll get there. But you can see, so we got those crosses with the squares. Got the crosses with the squares, and then this one has a very different and very unique pattern to it. And this is a pattern you only see one other place in the game. Again, I'm not going to say it yet because we will get there eventually, but just keep it in the back of your mind. Keep it in the back of your mind. Very important. So that's really the start of the monastery. Those are kind of your main interesting points to take a look at the start. Last thing we'll do really quickly is we will just get to the spot where we can open it up. So we can get that Zen Garden and say we're 100% complete in this area. We go up some nice stone paths here. Which way is it? Oh boy. I always get lost in this area. Sorry, guys. But we'll get there. We'll get there. One day. There we go. And if we go down here, we can see that there's one more panel for us, which is this one right here. And again, just like the last ones, it is a perception problem as well. And we can open that one up. It turns red just like before. So that's the monastery. Again, just talking about perception, talking about this kind of feeling of Zen-like, Zen quality on it. We're gonna see a little bit more that shows why this is Zen a little bit later on, but for right now, that is the monastery. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any comments, I would absolutely love to hear them. And I'll see you guys next time in another episode of The Witness.